Friday, and I'm sure that they're not gonna make a decision until that's done. I would personally, I don't think there's any risk, but just wait. I mean, what's another 5 days to sign the document? We've got indication from Southwest Power Pool, there's no impacts to the transmission system. Northwestern said their preliminary studies show none, but they just are gonna keep doing their work, so. And that would be not any cost on the city if they came up with some cost either, by the way, so that's just what work needs to be done.
This much extra power being drawn out of those transformers down there, does that decrease the life expectancy of the?
I mean, you're gonna have wear, but nothing, no, honestly, the transformers that we have in place, they'll handle it more than that.
They're going now.
It's the older transformers that we need to look at eventually, but I guess, like I'm saying, it's either gonna go or it's not, so I'm looking at hopefully generating some revenue if we ever do need to tackle that.
So you don't anticipate it to do any more wear and tear on the transformers than normal?
Nope. Like I said, this is about the best load that you can get, cause it's steady, it's not like ramping the motor up and going back down and ramping it up. It just,
Because it'd be a constant.
yeah, yep.
Not gonna overload it.
Nope. And we're not maxing anything completely out, I mean, they still gotta get up there and we still have room there also. In case your electric charger, car charger or something comes along, we have a lot of those.
Is there any more questions?
Well, I make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the mining in Miller, Sky Horizon LLC. Is there any more discussion? If not, we're gonna vote by roll call. I'm gonna start with Schwartz,
Aye.
Zeller,
Aye.
Odegaard,
Aye.
Rangel,
Aye.
Alderwoman Lefty,
Aye.
Alderman Steers.
Aye.
Hearing 6 ayes and no nays, the motion carries by unanimous ballot. Motion carried.
Thank you. If you have any
Thank-
further
thanks.
questions, just get them to Dustin for us and bring them back to us. Thank you.
Okay, the next
Thank
thing
you.
on the agenda is number 2,
Thanks, guys.
which is a mayor's proclamation from the city of Miller. And I'll read this. Whereas individuals of intellectual and developmental disabilities and traumatic brain injury, their families, friends, neighbors, and co-workers encourage everyone to focus on the abilities of all people. Whereas the most effective way to increase this awareness is through everyone's active participation in community activities and the openness to learn and acknowledge each individual's contribution. Whereas opportunities for citizens with intellectual and developmental disabilities and traumatic brain injuries to function as independently and productively as possible must be fostered in our community. Whereas we encourage all citizens to support opportunities for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and traumatic brain injuries in our community that include full access to education, housing, employment, and recreational activities. Whereas individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and traumatic brain injury deserve nothing less. Now, therefore, I, Ronald Blasford, Mayor of the City of Miller, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2022 as Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in the City of Miller, and recognize that our communities are strong when everyone participates. Take time to get to know someone with a disability, recognize ability at work, and see what he or she has to offer. And I believe we got somebody here that wants to say a few words.
Just a couple of short words, so I won't take very much of your time. Mr. Mayor and council members, for those of you that do not know me, my name is Haley Koss. I know most of you though. This very special little boy with me is my son Joseph. He really likes microphones, so we'll see how this goes. I am here to speak on behalf of the South Dakota Partners in Policymaking, an international advocacy group for disability rights. Disability does not discriminate, not by age, gender, race, religion, political affiliation, nationality, or socioeconomic status. Individuals with disabilities are the largest collective minority group in the world. And it is the only minority group that every human has an equal potential to join, either by birth, accident, injury, disease, illness, or the simple process of aging. As a society, we all have a role and responsibility to ensure individuals with disabilities are integrated, equalized, and given all opportunity for success, happiness, and fulfillment in their lives. We are all responsible for creating an inclusive community, a community in which individuals with disability have freedom, equality, and opportunity to participate fully in all that our community has to offer. A community that educates, employs, supports, and encourages all of its citizens, regardless of disability. One small gesture, such as your declaration today, can cause an unbelievable ripple effect of positive change for individuals with disabilities. And so, on behalf of my son, Joseph, other members of the Miller community with disabilities, their families, their neighbors, friends, teachers, and their loved ones, I want to thank you for taking the time tonight to declare the month of March as Intellectual and Disability Awareness Month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you very much, Haley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, you did great.
Tell Grandma bye.
Do
The
we,
next thing on
we
the
don't do a motion.
agenda is Dale Harvins, and I don't see him here, so. We'll go on to number 4, and that is a surcharge
There's,
clarification. And I'm gonna ask, there's been a presentation got ready here, so I'm gonna ask Tony here to read this.
there's still a little confusion on surcharges that possibly we could just go ahead and pay them off at any time we want. So Surcharge is required from our lenders to cover our loan payments. And I know Jan's put quite a bit in the paper about surcharges, but still a little bit more confusion. Lending institutions require that we collect 110% of the annual loan payment as a surcharge to cover that payment. The extra 10% can be used to maintain the new system. Surcharges must remain until the loan is paid in full. Surcharges do not go away. They remain in effect till the city's correspondent loan is paid off. We're allowed to pay down the principal without penalties. So if you know of a good way to pay some of these principals down, let's get it done. However, just because we pay down the principal doesn't mean the surcharges are reduced. The surcharges will stay the same until the loan is paid in full. Everyone gets charged the same surcharge: water, sewer, flat amounts, electric based on number of kilowatts used. Water and sewer surcharges are figured based on the number of meters at the time of the loan closing. The only way a property is not charged a surcharge is if the services are dug up and capped off. Otherwise, if there are services available and running to the property, surcharges will be billed. No electric surcharge is billed if there is no electricity used. However, if the meter is installed, there will be a $15 base fee regardless of usage. That fee goes to operating revenue account. A fact, surcharges are not figured by pulling some random number from the sky. A lending institute sets the rates after reviewing the city's revenue, expenses, budget, and other financial statements, along with utility billing management reports. So I hope this will help clarify some of the surcharges. We just can't, on our own, do away with surcharging until that loan is paid for.
Is there any question?
Oh, and I want to thank Shayla and Cindy for doing some of the work on this, or most of the work, I should say.
So has that rate for the surcharges gone up?
No,
Well, the only reason I ask is because I've noticed on our bill that,
On the electric portion or the water sewer, which part?
the electric portion.
The electric portion, when we refinanced, the electric did go up and our revenue amount went down, so the rate stayed the exact same. But when we refinanced the two loans into one so that we could pay it off in 15 years instead of the 30, we were able to keep your rate, your overall rate the same, but yes, our surcharge did go up. And our electric rate for operating went down.
So that's why my electrical debt, which is what it's called now, is more than my electrical charge.
Yes.
But your overall rate is still what it was before.
Because we consolidated the loans,
And we cut it in half, basically,
so that we could get them paid off.
yes,
So this electrical loan now should be paid off in 15 years.
yes.
And we saved roughly $3 million.
Okay, so I'm gonna be alive yet when we get rid of the
I gotta hope so.
electrical surcharge?
Yes,
Maybe?
we're planning on it. We wanna have a happy dance when that's all paid off.
Okay. Well, I was just curious because I have noticed that all of a sudden our electrical debt charge went up higher than what our electricity was. And I didn't know that we consolidated the loans.
Yeah.
So that they'll be paid off sooner. Okay, that makes sense.
Is there any other questions?
Are you gonna print that in the paper with? you just print?
Well, I wrote down as much of it as I could.
you want a sheet?
That would be great.
If you got an extra one there.
I got an extra one right here.
There you go.
I'll just take thumbs. Oh, there you go. Thank you. He's got notes on his.
Well, and I think it would be interesting for people to know that you consolidated that loan, so that we'll have those paid off a little sooner. Cause I'm looking at my bill and I'm going, you don't wanna know what I said.
I kinda do.
I can imagine.
You know me, Joe, you probably know exactly what I said.
He probably doesn't want to be arrested
That's right.
Preacher's
Mine's
left.
right here, so.
He might be still watching.
Can you get a ticket for attempted math?
When did we do that consolidation? That's been 2 years already, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's been
Yeah,
quite a
so
while
already
ago that we
Years,
did
and
that.
how come it just was, the bill just,
It's been like that for a while.
I thought you just said that.
It was like, right, did we just do it when you got here?
That's, I'm pretty sure.
We were working on it when you came.
Yeah,
It's probably been,
so, a year ago.
yeah,
The consolidation?
yeah.
well,
I
I
think
don't
we
know,
worked on it for
I
a while.
have all of my bills right here, so.
Let me see. When we went from two electric debts to one. Cause we had 2 electric debts. We consolidated those 2 into one.
Well, starting in November, all of a sudden my electrical debt charge went up higher than my electricity charge. Before, my electrical debt charge, they were close, but it wasn't higher than my electricity.
Well, it's at a percentage though, so if your electric goes up, your debt's gonna go up higher. I mean, that's in November. I'm gonna see if I can find our resolution.
I got them right here if you wanna look at them.
I was gonna look at the ordinance here.
Is there anything else? If not, we're going back up to number 3, Dale Hargan's, the rental house.
Want me to come up here?
Yes.
Okay, basically what happened, one of my renters had made a deal with, I think, Tony, that he was gonna pay by 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. And at 5 o'clock, the meter was pulled on that house. Now, this was on the Friday before President's Day, and if you remember back, that's when we got down to 20 below zero. I did not find out until the next Tuesday morning at about 8 o'clock. 80 hours later, I had to go cut a lock off the house, because I didn't know where the guy was. Went in and we had icicles hanging from all of the faucets in the house. I didn't know what to think, what was done, what damage was done. We are very fortunate, we had no leaks when we turned it on the other day. But had that not been the case, I would have been expecting you people to pay for it, because I should have gotten a call from being the owner of the house. I should get a call. It's happened before, and I've got the calls, and I've always paid the bill, so they didn't shut it off, so my houses don't freeze up. So I think what you need to do, you need to change your policy. Number one, you should never pull a meter at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. There's no way anybody's gonna be around, especially a 3-day weekend. I'm sure you guys were probably gone, or there's a chance they would have been gone. To get it hooked back up, and there's no way I can pay anybody if nobody's here till Tuesday morning. So I think that date needs to be changed. If it's, say it's the 10th, you gotta have it paid by, well, if it falls on a Friday, you gotta have it by Monday afternoon or whatever, so they got a chance. The other thing, maybe we need to do something in the office. I'll certainly provide a list of the properties I own, so that they could look at it, and know. But I think if it's a rental, maybe we need to put it on the bill who the owner is. So that, you know in the office when this happens, so that you can get a hold of the owner, because it would solve a lot of headaches in the future, because that could have cost a ton of money over there. And, I would have expected the city to pay it. If they would not, I would have had a lawyer. Might have cost me more than it cost to replumb it, but I'm about making a point sometimes, so that's where we're at. But I think you need to have a committee to step up and change that around somehow. I don't know what your spatial policy is, but it certainly needs to be changed, especially when it comes to rentals. And that, by the way, that house was on heating assistance too, and so the heat part of it was paid, but but the water and sewer wasn't, so they pulled the meter. So, I don't think the energy people would like to hear that. I didn't call them, I was gonna, but then it wasn't froze up, so leave them out. If you got any questions, I'll try and answer it.
Anybody got any questions?
Don't you pay a month in advance anyway? When you open up an account, I'm sure I had to pay.
There's a
I had
deposit.
deposit. That would get you a grace time of some sort, wouldn't it?
And I don't know how far behind he was yet.
When they hit my desk, usually they're 2 months behind. So, this, again, I apologize, this was this scenario that happened. Typically, I do get a hold of the renter, didn't realize it in this deal, it fell wrong, everything fell wrong. I did, however, want to pull the meter on a Friday, if that was the case, because he hadn't been there all week, and I was hoping to get his attention. But at the same time, my bad, for the holiday, and it did get cold on that Monday. Again, very sorry about that, but I have had the same scenario, and I just wasn't rushed. It fell right at the end of the day, and all of a sudden we found out that he didn't pay it, and I was told to go shut him off, and we should have slowed down a little bit, but typically I wanna do that before 5 o'clock or whatever, so we have time to call people and get everything. But we just, we did work back and forth trying to get a hold of him. I know he was there the first time I pulled it. I knocked on the door, I heard him, pull the meter, no more, and come back to City Hall, and he was calling because his power was off, and then we try to help the community the best we can, and then arrangements were made, and unfortunately, we didn't give you a call, I apologize for that.
Okay. Anyway, if you have any further questions, please try to fix that.
Thanks for coming, Dale.
You bet, thank you.
It's a learning curve. No problem. Thank you.
Okay, we're going on to number 5.
Will that be put on the agenda for later to discuss for changes?
What?
I don't know if that's just an inter-office thing that they can take care of, or is that something that we have to make up?
Well, we don't have a policy right now. I think it's just, it's not a written policy that we allow one phone call for them. But
Okay, so I think it probably does need to be up for discussion at some point.
Well, we can put it on, but it'll have to be on the agenda.
Okay, maybe put it on the agenda for next time.
I think it's worth noting, Dale, I'm sorry this happened in this situation, and to Dustin's defense,
We'll try to get something done, Dale.
he does, and all of us get calls relatively often at the end of a month on somebody who hasn't paid, and we all try to make this work out for people. Our desire is not to shut people off. None of us want to do that. And so, again, we're all working to that end. We want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and sometimes we just have to pull the plug, and we
Well,
can't.
He's
We
used
can't
up a
go.
lot of his dollars, there, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But certainly call the landowner.
Sure.
Or the property owner. So, the last thing I want is one of them to get damaged because some idiot is being an idiot.
Great.
And that morning you were here, I did go and talk to the girl anytime there's a tenant or something. I mean, I don't know as much as what Terry does, or, you know, where everybody lives and everything, you know, I wasn't necessarily in the community when I was here for the last 10 years, and so they're gonna start writing down the landlord next to the, you know, where it says tenant, and I, you know, try to catch that, but I also, arrangement wise, I don't like 5 o'clock, definitely make somebody pay before 4 o'clock. I mean, every scenario is different, but that gives you that time to call the landlord or.
unfortunately, that guy, I gave him 3 opportunities. I know we're only supposed to give 1, but I was trying to.
And I'm
work
not
with him.
blaming you for that. It's
And
just
I did
what
give him
how-
3 chances, and he promised he would have it done on that Friday. And so that's why we went on that Friday, because he promised, then, I guess.
And we tried, I mean, honestly, we worked with the guy in the summertime, we were hoping that it was gonna work out.
Yeah, I would just soon not give them any time. When their bill's due, it's due. But that's not up to me, that's the council.
Right, because there are situations, so I think that'll be a discussion. You want to
Yeah.
put that on the agenda for next time, Shayla?
Is there anything else? If not, let's move on to number 5, which is Bran Rock Projects, Shakopee, Minnesota. Track for the baseball field is found on page 9.
Are you ready?
You bet.
Before I go any further, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of the city workers who have been nothing but cordial and helpful for us out at the ballpark. I thank them very much for that. I want to get that in. This is the AgriLine, which is, goes on the infield of the baseball and softball diamonds, but the gravel part of the diamonds. It's, comes out of Shakopee. It's actual baseball diamond dirt is what they basically call it. It's, I guess we got the facts there that it's $78.10 a ton dropped in. And they carry 25 tons, so we're at, it's gonna cost $19.52.50 for one load. That's 25 ton, which is about 25 Bobcat loads. Hopefully that's, well, we got by last year without any, but this year, you know, you never know. The dry years, you don't need as much. We wanted to keep this that we had here in case we got wet weather, so we had some dry product to put on top to soak up and push the water out so that we could get back to playing again. And that's the reason we have this AgriLine over regular clay that we have around here, because after the rain, it soaks through and it's the players can get back on the field. Basically, in a nutshell, that's all it's, easier and safer to get ready for a game, and everybody likes playing it. And it's, I guess that I need to have your approval that I can order that and get it in. It'll come, they'll drop it off. The tailgate truck will come right in and dump it right in on our pile there. We'll be ready to I can put it on whenever I get a chance.
One load will last how long, Rich?
Well, we haven't had any for probably 4 or 5 years.
Probably at least, probably.
Yeah, it's just from erosion.
So it's gonna,
That that's all, water erosion is probably the hardest on it, wind.
Wind is probably.
But, yeah, so, and it's, once it blows into the gravel, which is around the edges, it's just hard to get back because of all the rock in it. But, we have to, dome it up a little bit more so that the water runs off and all of the potholes are filled up.
I see they're signing up for baseball. How's the interest? Does there seem to be a lot of interest? Do you know?
I haven't heard anything this year, but the little kids last year was huge. We're working on, hopefully we'll get well, it's not called Teeners anymore, it's a,
Well,
what,
personally,
1400.
this is just my opinion, but from what I saw last year, with the increase in the people, the kids, and all that, and the activity out there after we got things started rolling. Because I was down there several times and counted the cars one time there was like 60. The next time there was close to 70 cars down there, so it's getting a lot of use, and I think for $2,000, I think this is worth a try.
It basically more than a try, it's almost a necessity to do.
Yes,
Yeah, just to keep me.
if we're gonna keep the ball field in good shape, it's
Yeah.
just about a necessity.
And, if you look at it over, well, I think it was, oh gosh, I don't even remember exactly what year that we put AgriLime on there the first time. But, it's probably 30 years ago. And so, and we probably we don't, what's your guess? Every 5 years put some on there?
Every 5 years, we probably get a load.
Yeah.
We used to have a truck just that was over there with us, a grain trailer, pick one up and bring it back with them. But semis don't go there to Shakopee for whatever reason.
There's a change of,
I think they're using the rail system probably more.
we
Just for you guys to know, there is AgriLime closer, but you do not want it. It's a really muddy AgriLime, and it's not, it's like Marshall, I think, somewhere around the Marshall area. It saves a lot of mileage and tripping, but it's not worth the try. Spearfish, South Dakota, uses AgriLime from Shakopee.
and while we're after, we did go and get some, product from Spencer. And that's what we're doing the warning track with, which most of it is out there right now. All it needs to do is, need you guys come out with a rake and help me smooth that out just a little bit. But it'll be ready for play this year. Haven't heard anything about high school baseball yet, but it's out there. I'm just hoping that we'll get some games played here. I'll be ready for them. Other than that, that's all I got.
We've got the money in
Thank
that
you.
budget, the ball field budget, what did we budget for supplies or repairs or upkeep or whatever?
Yeah.
Was that in?
Well, that was an idea of it.
That was in the budget originally that
I think so.
would have
Trying
approved?
to, yeah, trying.
Thanks for doing your job out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys,
A lot of people
I can't
appreciate
say enough for the city. Anytime the sprinkler broke down, I had guys out there with the backhoes getting it done. These guys helped me with the product, putting it on, and helping me keep the lawnmowers running.
And you take-
Awesome.
And you take a lot of heat off of them.
You took a lot of heat off of me, and I like that a lot.
No, it was
I don't
great.
have any earphones.
There's been a lot of compliments, Roger, for kudos to you.
It's been a lot of fun. And again, there's gonna be some, we'll come back about the electrical deal.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, no, it's
I was thanking everybody, and I still got lots of work to do.
Yeah, but no, I didn't wanna omit you at all, but, we do have some electrical problems out there. One, the main problem is we can't buy lights anymore. Those lights are discontinued, they're, anything we put out, there's gonna be something new and the new LED are not cheap.
They're 1974 issue.
Yeah. We just can't, you can't buy them.
Much younger than I am.
So do we need to approve this, a motion to approve this purchase then?
Yeah,
Right.
And we do have 15,000 in his supplies and materials budget, so.
I'll make a motion, we approve buying the AgriLime for the baseball field.
okay, we have a motion to approve buying the AgriLime. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second now to buy the AgriLime. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried.
find me some answers.
Thanks, Roger.
Thanks, Roger.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
She'll thank you when it comes in for
Keep up the good work.
$100,000 for the lights. That's
Yeah.
what he says it's gonna cost if we did them.
Okay, we're going on to number 6. AMI meters. Did we get anything from,
Yep.
Well, so I was just reading that, did I completely?
Did
drop
you
off?
get a bid?
Oh, I didn't print anything out.
I didn't print them out either. I thought she had it in the packet, but
Do you have it on that, can you like pull it up on your email or?
it's right there.
Yeah, or I can run and do that, we can. Get me for a minute, I just happened to notice that from using it.
Yeah, I thought she added it with everybody's packet, but I don't see that she did, so. Or sent it with it extra.
So basically, I guess to just sum it up. We went out to bids, and you know, I've been working on this, trying to figure out what I wanted and learning all about meters and everything. And we only actually had one bid that had the bid on, brought it in, it was sealed, that we could actually legally open. It really wasn't what I was looking for. The product is there, but the cost was higher than it had been previous to the bid bond and everything else, and liquidated damages. So I'm feeling that maybe it was padded a little bit. And also, they had a lot of, notations or addendums of their own changing in it, so they didn't actually meet all of the criteria of the spec that we were looking for without spending a bunch of extra money, and I was just not satisfied with that. Also, DGR felt that also. And so they basically recommend that we go back out for RFP, RFQs, request for price, request for quotes. Legally standing, we went out to bid, we did everything we're supposed to. Now we can go out for quotes and basically just see if there's something out there that's gonna meet what we need. Anybody got any questions before I go on, I guess, or? Basically, I could put another guy in my department for what I was gonna have to pitch it, you guys. I could, another person's salary, and I know that wasn't gonna fly as far as what we're looking to get.
That was the annual.
That was annual. Yeah.
It was
and
over
so-
60,000 annually for
And
this
then
software.
the other price went up too, and I'm just, I'm not. Nope. So I guess you guys, you go from here, you need to do, can we go back out for, can I get your permission to go out for quotes? And then I can hopefully come back with something that's more feasible and present that to everyone.
I think that's a great idea. We're not in a huge rush on this particular project.
Well, we are, cause you, basically right now, you don't do something right now, I mean, I'll be lucky to get them by September.
Oh, September of next,
Or of this year, sorry, September of this year, but yeah. I mean, that's how far stuff out it is, and so I just want to, and you know, with the way things are going, I think the reason that things were a little higher is with liquidated damages and not knowing where computer chips are. I think some people were making sure that they were covering themselves if they couldn't get the material. And I guess I would rather sit here and wait a little bit longer until some of the stuff shows up than to try to pay extra for it. That's my thoughts, that's why I didn't push bringing them other bids in, or the one bid that wouldn't have met what we were looking for anyways.
Well, I thought, I was here at the bid letting, opening.
Yep.
And I thought there was a lot of confusion with figures. I thought it was hard to tell exactly what it was gonna cost.
Well, the one bid didn't even meet the criteria, and they definitely didn't have their layout like it should have been. So that might have been some of the confusion that you were thinking of too, but yeah, there are a lot of changes and exceptions, I guess the word I'm looking for,
Yeah.
in it. So it was pretty hard to follow through, but at the end of the day, it really,
Too high.
it was too high.
What did, that guy that was here and gave his presentation for him, he said it cost him $18,000, how many years ago for the same thing they were charging $60,000 for now? Did he ever mention how long ago? It wasn't that far off, was it?
Well, I wanna say it was before 2010 or something.
No, so it was quite a ways back.
Yeah, it was quite a ways,
Okay.
but everything was quite high.
Yeah.
On that, I don't wanna, they have a good system. I'm not saying, I just wanna give them a chance to also look to see if they would, if we change
Sure.
some of their criteria a little bit. Not having the bid bond and liquidated damages, if we could get down to, like I said, a feasible, realistic, usable price that we're willing to spend. So, and accomplish what I'm trying to get out of it is the biggest thing.
So DGR's recommendation is to reject the bid, the one good one that we had, and to go out for request for pricing. So if we just accept DGR's recommendations tonight, that will take care of that, and then Dustin can go forward with requesting new.
Yeah, I don't have to ask for a proposal to advertise for RFQ.
We will need to,
RFP.
yeah, we will wanna advertise.
'Cause I would
again.
like to keep moving forward and
Yeah.
get this over with.
I'm gonna request a motion to reject all the bids and go for DGR's recommendation there that we use proposals.
I'll
Cause
make
it's
the
right in
motion.
there, that recommendation, it says it right in there, after rejecting to solicit more, so.
So you want the motion to say that we reject?
That we're accepting DGR's recommendation to reject
Reject the
and
bid.
go forward to get
That
recommendation.
sounds good, I'll make that motion.
Okay,
Is there a second?
Thank you.
Is there, do we have a motion and a second to reject the bids? Well, to just use DGR's recommendation to reject the bids
and to solicit new bids.
and solicit new. So, is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Substation repair, 10 through 12.
Yep.
You at that bid opening, Joe? Were you at that bid opening?
Nope.
You know about it?
Yeah,
We did.
you were on a flight.
Yeah. You were in an airplane, if I remember right.
Yep. You
Anyways,
sent a picture to Sheila.
so the northwestern sub, or that's what I call it, the sub south of town, which is our phase shifting transformer. Since before I even accepted this job, I took a drive with Hayden, and even then, when he was here, and I don't know how long before that, every once in a while, SCADA, Northwestern SCADA will call me, their dispatch, and they constantly are getting, alarms, basically low gas in that breaker down there. And so potentially if it gets too low, the breaker will open and we will lose power. So, this needs addressed. So these guys are the professionals, they were also the same company that we would have used to fix our other sub, and they were low bid then. Also, while that is down and getting work done with your guys' approval, I have a bushing on top of the transformer that is low. And so what usually happens there is the bottom of the bushing has a gasket or seal or whatever, and it gets old, cracked, dried up. Anyways, I can see in that bushing that the oil it's losing oil, and so basically also in this quote, we would pull that out, replace that bushing with a new one full of oil. So just trying to patch, maintain, keep working that sub down there. So I guess what I'm looking for here is your guys' approval to move forward and get that fixed.
Is that the $13,000 amount? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, that's
With-
the,
With the thought that if something else shows up while they're here, they'd fix that too?
yeah, I mean, he's gonna bring the gas with him, the bushing, I mean, while that's down, I can kinda go through and check connections. I've already had it down before and actually done a lot of the work down there myself. This is just, something that I obviously wouldn't do. This is above anything that I would be capable of doing. But since I've been here, we've done a lot of work down there already, just trying to keep it working. You know, I also would prefer to get this fixed before we have a Bitcoin mining operation.
The same transformers will be supplying the power to the Bitcoin.
This transformer supplies to the whole city, so,
So it's not something we're gonna be getting rid of, that's gonna be around.
yeah, you know, and you know how transformers are to get right now. So you wouldn't get one, couple years out or something, I was told. So, everything's getting harder and harder. Cheaper to maintain it than it is to let it go and have something go wrong.
Do you want a motion for that? I'll make a motion to repair the
Substation.
substation for $13,125.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to repair substation, northwestern substation. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Number 8, repairs to extra police car. I believe it's a transmission
Yep.
for $4,295, is that right?
42, yeah, I'm gonna say you guys. So, I guess, it's technically Shannon's car, he's busy. I kinda, the electrical department, I know we use his car a lot. There's actually the one notice in it was, shaking a little bit. I would, anyway, so we went to go get it fixed. And the lockup torque converter is having issues, and that's why you feel a vibration in it when it's sitting there running. Dobbs ended up getting a part that they could re-flash it to take that shimmy away, so then they could diagnose the problem. That doesn't actually fix it. So you need to put a torque converter in there. Well, when you put a torque converter in, the tranny's already out, so you might as well just put a new tranny in. It's hard to say how much damage the torque converter has done already. So, anyways, I I guess I'm up here instead of Shannon because like I said, our department uses this a lot, actually kinda all use it. I've kinda talked to all the other department heads and,
Yeah, we're in on it too there.
yeah, so
Yeah,
basically, we were actually thinking if we could get this fixed, this is cheaper than trying to find something else. And then
But the
go
car's
four
in,
ways or whatever.
car's in good shape otherwise, isn't it?
Yeah, it does need, tires sooner than later, which, also Staub was gonna get us a quote on. Now, I did have questions, why didn't I go anywhere else? So we took it to Staub, Staub has been working on it. This place that he has, that he's taken this, is the only place he knows of that gives a warranty, is what I was told by him. So he's lying to me, I guess, I'll take that up later. But locally and over west, supposedly there's no warranty. And so he recommends, these guys. So I didn't get any other, bids or anything, or quotes.
So what is the price? Did
Uh,
you say?
Who's doing the work then, Dustin?
It was a Don's or Dan's transmission down in, Mitchell.
Dale's?
Dale's. there you go.
Yeah, they're good, they are good, and they do have a warranty.
And honestly, he said if we get this approved, it'd probably go down there this week and it'd probably be back, the end of next, is what he told me.
They are really fast, I can witness that.
And I'd like to get it fixed, cause we got some other
It's the name.
uses for it at the other end of the month too, so.
We had one put in for them then.
So I guess I'm asking for permission and we can get Shannon's car fixed and then, like I said, talk to everybody else and we can split it or whatever. I mean, everybody kinda uses it or it's there to be used. We went to Marshall 2 weeks ago. I guess I didn't reach out to, Terry or Ron or anything, but I just drove my personal vehicle. But we use it all the time. I mean,
How many miles that thing got on it now?
I wanna say 110 something.
115? Not
Yeah,
not that many.
somewhere in there.
How many did you say, Dustin?
115,000?
That's not very many.
No, it's somewhere in there. I mean, I don't know exact. I haven't seen it for a while because it's been sitting over there for a little bit. So. But with what prices are doing in the used car market and for what we need, they like to have a spare car for when homecomings and, you know, stuff like that. It's good for us. I used it to run out to the municipal league stuff, to run out to schooling, and then remember, well, you guys took it to the water deal up here, or at least the other guys did, but, and even the office ladies can use it. If they need to, want to.
I just had to have a transmission put in a vehicle, and it was over $6,000, so just 4,200 is really reasonable.
Well, you're not gonna find a vehicle for 4,200.
And you might end up with the same
I
problem.
don't think that,
Exactly.
That's not a bad warranty on it either.
Well, it's very
3
good.
years, 100,000.
Really good.
I don't think that's too bad for,
I'll make a motion that we get the car repaired, the
okay, we have a
transmission.
motion to have the transmission and the extra police car fixed.
Might be a conflict of interest.
Is there,
I'll second it.
is there any discussion anymore? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Livestock auction project.
Well, thank you everyone.
Lot.
yep,
Sit down now.
Thanks, Dusty.
Yeah. You're the zoning person. Here you go.
Well, all we have to do
Approve,
is just, oh,
okay. can be
okay
decided.
it, because we don't have, there's nothing we can do about it, or is there?
There is 2 lots in town and 3 lots outside of the city limits on this plat. They replatted Veronic outlot into a few other lots, and then they replatted part of the blocks in town, so. Pretty much everything that Cody Gomer, I believe, owns it, for Pressure Livestock, they replatted it, so they could sell it. In pieces. So yeah, just need a motion to approve the plat as it is.
I'm gonna request a motion to approve the livestock auction plot.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Number 10. TLC Olson Construction Change Orders found on pages 14 and 15. Carrie, has this work been completed?
No,
Or
the stuff
this-
on First Avenue, West First Avenue has been, but, the rest of it has not. That is something that we need to get done in order to get the sewer deeper on West Fifth and to finish the sewer on West Third,
West Fifth.
West Fifth Avenue?
West Fifth Avenue.
That's-
And, replace the water and sewer on,
But that, is that over there where that sewer's so shallow?
yeah. And to replace the water and sewer going to the north one block, which would be Ruby Wharton Street,
Well, north of Ruby Wharton and south of Ruby Norton's, right?
south and north, yeah.
Just the
Before-
sewer,
Before it was quitting right at, well, just before the house that Arlen lived in,
yeah.
and they always had sewer problems over there, and this will take care of that too. And I talked to Camden about, the extra money we have in our, for phase
Contingency?
3,
Yeah.
and he see no problem with this. This was talked about several other times at our construction meetings. He told you that the change order was coming later. And plus, we're saving money on the streets that were partially dug up. We're not gonna asphalt them. Ron's gonna oil them instead. So that's gonna save us, $47,000. So. Plus the prices have gone up 30%.
I know there's been problems over there with that sewer being so shallow.
Right. What?
Quit telling secrets. I said, quit telling secrets. Right, just making things.
Well, I'm gonna recommend that we approve change order number 3.
How tight does this bring us on the funding for that phase? Any idea?
Yeah, he said this isn't a problem. Because there's another block up there by Samples Guest House or whatever, that alley was supposed to get new water down it, and we didn't have to, cause it already had new water and sewer down it. So we saved money from that also.
That was part of the project.
What's that?
Are you saying that was part of the
That was part of
project?
the project
But,
also.
but we put water and sewer down that when the sewer went through Ames?
Yeah, when they jacked the house up and found the sewer under the house. That's when that got done.
What was
Plus- What's that?
What was the savings on that it,
I don't know what the exact savings was on it. We had to do some work in there anyways. We replaced all the curb stops in there. So you can't hardly fix everything else over there and leave that block out. Because there's a lot of problems over there. Everything around it will be fixed except for that. If you don't get it.
how come that wasn't part of the
It
original
was supposed to
phase
be,
three?
it was supposed to be in there, and then somehow Camden didn't get it in there.
Okay.
We drove up down every street, then we talked about every street, and some things got missed.
We have the money in the contingency fund, correct?
Yes.
So by doing this, is that why we're having Ron pave the other half of the street?
No,
No?
that was Ronnie's idea, because when you take a half asphalt street, and then you flatter the other half, they don't mix too well. They break up where
The prime example is,
the asphalt and the bladder, you know, where they run the line, they break up and make.
Well, the
potholes
problem
in
you
there.
got with it is when they put it down with a lay-down machine that's perfect like this table. And that blotter goes this way. It's not perfect and it don't match up, and you can't make it match up perfect. And it holds water along there, and pretty soon you've got a crack about that wide, you know.
prime example is in front of Wayne's house. That one block that they did half and half. Just drive down there sometime and you'll see it.
Full of potholes.
Well, if you go another place, if you wanna look at something where it's bad, go up there and look by the Cowboy store, going east and west across there where the asphalt comes up there together, it's already got a crack that wide tipping over in there.
So that saved the 47,595, otherwise it would have been 200,000.
I make a motion, we approve the TLC Olson change order.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve change order number 3 with TLC Olson Construction. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. SPN flood study invoices 25566 and 25567 for $9,300. Found on page 17.
Was that grant money?
This was all grant, yes, 100% grant.
This SPN was?
Yes, this is for the flood study that we got $72,500 grant money. So it's 100% grant on this project.
That's only 60% complete.
It's now 100% complete. I did get the last invoice today. So it is now 100% complete. We did get the packet, the booklet of the flood study today, and it also, DNR and FEMA both got that flood study packet as well today. So they said as soon as I get these in, they'll pay us for the $72,500.
That flood study, by the way,
I should have brought
is
it in.
in the finance office. And everybody sitting around this table needs to get that and look at it, that proposal, where that is, because there are issues there with that. I'm sure, after looking at that we got all kinds of water going through that culvert coming back up in there before the water ever gets over there to the road where those culverts are. And that one railroad culvert over there is half full of ballast it's got a hole in it, it's pulled apart, so the ballast is falling down in there and it's half full on the north end. I think Ron's called the railroad, didn't he?
Yeah, the rocks falling through from the railroad tracks. And they just keep putting rock in it and it keeps falling into the culvert. He called them and they're aware of it.
So are they gonna do anything about it?
No, probably not, until the train tips over. Hard to say.
They won't let anybody else go out there and do it either.
What's happened is the last two sections of that concrete culvert is slid to the north and left a gap about that wide in there, in between them. That's very common with them. That was put in, they got ties on them now to hold them together, but that's very common with them. That was put in years ago that they didn't put those ties in. The end sections won't stay there because there's not as much to hold them.
So
I would
can anybody
recommend we
come in
pay
and read
those.
that flood study?
Yep.
Even if I won't understand and I'll ask stupid questions?
I probably won't be able to answer them, but go ahead and ask.
Okay,
Guess I would make a motion, we pay SPN $93,000 for that flood study,
9,300.
or, oh, yeah, 9,300. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and second to pay SPN flood study invoices 25566 and 25567. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Annual report, page 17.
I have the full annual report, I think I sent that, it's available online on our website now. This is just the quick summary of it. The bottom line, I guess, is the general fund came out ahead 155,000. Water, sewer, and electric came out up 448, so overall, we're $603,960 in the black for 2021.
Is there any questions about the annual report? If not, we'll go on to, you want that approved?
Yes, we need to.
Okay, I entertain a motion to approve the annual report.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the annual report. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Number 13, Helms and Associates. Associates invoice 25530 and 25548 for a total of $7,605.62 found on pages 18 and 19.
I'll make a motion to approve the invoices 25530 and 25548 to Helms.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the invoices 25530 and 25548 for a total of $7,605.62 for payment. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Approval of the bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
We got a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the bills. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Motion carried. Executive session for personnel pursuant to South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, parent 1. I would entertain a motion to adjourn, to go into executive session at 8:44.
I'll make a motion.
We have
See you
a
later.
motion.
Yep, see ya.
Is there a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second to go into executive session at 8:44. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries.
Stop it, you started that.
I said a good night.
You too, thanks.
I'm gonna spend the night with all my kids. All my kids are here.
Yay, good for you.